Uh, can you see me? I'm actually seeing... What the heck? Can you see me now? This is bizarre. I'm seeing... I don't get this. I'm seeing the image before I turn on the camera. I'm gonna restart the stream. Sorry about this. Okay. We should be back if everything's working. Let's just see. What happened to the stream? There. Can you see me now? Let's see. I think the stream is live. Yes, let's assume it is. Sorry, I'm actually going to check my telephone and join my own stream. There, when I turned on the stream, it was... Let me just go do this first. See if it works. Yes, I can see myself, good. Yeah, so I turned on the stream, and when I turned it on, I was seeing the image before, like when I set everything up. In other words, I wasn't sitting here. I'm clearly sitting here. Like, I know that I am. I'm not that crazy. And then, yeah, for some reason it had saved an image from before, but wasn't streaming my camera. Don't know why that is, but yeah, it's back to working now again, so I'm happy about that. I hope you had a good week and that summer is treating you well. Here in Sweden, it's like living in the Mediterranean. It's really nice. And it's nice because it feels like it's really vacation when it's like that. I had a few topics on my mind, but it's Thursday and I'm always open for suggestions if anyone has anything they want to bring up. I actually had something interesting happen to me that I think I'll bring up, and then I can just stop that discussion if anyone comes up with something else, which I'd be happy to talk about. I got a parking ticket. Problem was, it was on the other side of the country. It was like far away from where I live, and I'm kind of like, I haven't been there in like 20 years. I can't even remember the last time I was there. And for some reason, I'm getting a parking ticket from that place. And I could see before that happened, just the fact that I opened up my app and I said, okay, you have a parking ticket, you haven't paid it, you need to pay it now, otherwise you're going to get a fee. And when I saw that, I immediately thought, wait, what? It was a month ago. Like, did I park wrong, or like what happened? And I could feel that, like the feeling of wanting to react, emotionally react. In other words, what happened was simply there was a letter on my computer saying that I had done something I was not supposed to do. That was it, like nothing else. On top of that, I then layered my own reaction, like, hey, wait a minute, like, what, did I do something wrong? Did my fiance, soon-to-be wife, did she do something? Or like, what happened here? Like, I can't remember this. And I tried to read the address and I didn't recognize it. But I saw that the city was far away from where I live. So I'm like, that can't be real. And then I started looking into it and like, yeah, no, it's actually true. It's from another city completely. And it's like not even close. And then I started looking into it. I called them up and like I talked to someone who was just very dismissive. Like, yeah, if it's not true, then you have to contact the police and like say that it's not your fault. That is not. And then it disconnected, so I had to call them again. And I called again and I got to a guy and he was very friendly. He's like, oh yeah, let me look. And apparently what happens is every time they have a parking ticket, they take a photo of the license plate. Like, this is the license plate. And they had read a 6 as a 5. So the number that was on the license plate was a 6, but they had read that as a 5. So it was not my car. It was someone else's car that had a license plate that was very similar to mine. And he said that it was all wrinkled up, so very likely it had been in an accident or something. And then I thought, okay, good, like, just take it away. And like, yeah, the thing is, we can't take it away. You have to actually message the police, tell them that this is a mistake, and then they will remove it. Maybe. I mean, they will, obviously. I hope so, because I have it on, like, from the the municipality where it happened, like they actually said, yeah, we checked the photos and it's not your license plate. So the person who checks the parking had done a mistake. But I still have to go through all of that, and there's a feeling of like, oh no, like I did something wrong. And there's also the feeling of like, hey, I'm spending like an hour figuring out what the heck happened. And it was quite a bit of money. It was like $90 approximately, which for me is like, I can't just spend $90 like on nothing. Like I don't have that kind of money. So I really need to fix that. So I was looking through it and looking it up, and then I had to go online. I had to send it away. And it was interesting to see how I can see how I would have reacted before. And I could see how part of me wanted to go down that road. In other words, what really happened was that someone had taken a photo of a license plate. And when they read the license plate, they read it wrong and took my name and my number, my license plate, by missing one digit. And because of that, that triggered all this chain of events, like meaning that I'm getting now the parking ticket and I still have to pay it, even though I can ask for the money back, I still have to pay it. And that triggered like this response, like this is not fair, it shouldn't happen, and completely useless distortions, like they don't help with actually fixing the problem. The problem, no matter how, and this is the good thing about governments and municipalities and like the state, in that it's completely like you can't discuss with them. It's like, this is how it is, and that's how it works. There's like, I can't just call them and say like, you should change the rules. You should just be able to take it away from the municipality office. Why would I have to need to contact the police? Like that helps nothing. It doesn't get me anywhere. It doesn't get them anywhere. Like it doesn't help. This is just facts. This is how it is. And then what am I going to do about it? So I need to do that. And I could have, while I was doing that, I could have layered on top this layer of, this is not fair, this is not nice, they should not do this to me, they should change the rules, this is how it's supposed to be. And I would put my emotional layer on top of the actual situation, so I wouldn't actually experience the situation. I would be viewing reality through the filters of my emotions towards that situation, which would of course make it a lot more difficult, because if I'm now layering my emotions in between me and the thing that is, by all, like, absolutely, I didn't do anything wrong. This was not me. There was someone else who made a mistake, and now I have to pay for it. I will get my money back, but I will have to pay for it with my time and my engagement to solve that situation. That's true. Like, that shouldn't have happened, but it doesn't matter. Like, that's a layer on top, feeling like, oh, that's not true. It's not fair. Like, reality is, it happened. Do something about it. Well, I need to fix the papers. I could have went around like for an hour and I could have called my friends. You know what happened? So unfair, so terrible. Actually, what I did was I called my fiancée and I told her the story and made it into a funny thing. And we laughed about it. So it was, and she was more upset than I was about it. Like, they can't do that. Like, that's not nice. Like, how did they do that? Like, they should fix it. They should pay you money for the 1 hour. And I checked it up and like, no, they don't actually do that. It's the government. Like, we would have to pay money to them if we took their time, but we can obviously not ask them for money if they take our time. It seems fair. So yeah, it's an interesting perspective how not perspective, it's an interesting realization when you see that you're not experiencing reality. You're always experiencing reality through the filter of how you're emotionally distorting reality. In other words, something happened, it's not nice, oh, I don't like this, it shouldn't have happened, and I'm putting that in between me. I can't clearly see what needs to be done because I'm putting the layer of this should not be happening to me, and so then I'm having aversion to it. It's the same with anything, like, oh, you're out on the street walking and someone walks by you and they drive by you and they splash water on you. It's like not nice. They shouldn't have done that. Like, as a driver in a car, you should be aware of where there's puddles on the road. In Sweden, you can actually get a fine for that. I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but if you would do that, then yeah, you could. And that shouldn't happen. But now, instead of what actually happened was a car drove too close, or they drove in a puddle, water splashed on me, I am now wet. I can choose what to do about that. I can choose to contact the police or the driver and say like, hey, you made a mistake, you need to pay me a fine. I'm not actually sure you would get a fine. Maybe he would just get a fine. And sorry, you would get money. He would just have to pay a fine. I mean, emotional damage by having water splashed on you by a car. I'm not sure that's a thing. So, but we don't see it like that. In other words, something that needs to be done, we see it through something needs to be done, and here's how I feel about it. And this is why this is difficult, and this is why it should be different, and this is why I'm resisting reality as it is, because it's not how I want it to be. I want reality to be something else. I don't want it to be just like this. I want it to be slightly different in another direction. And this all comes down to not accepting reality or the moment as it is right now. And we're constantly having this feeling of wanting to be somewhere else. We're having this feeling of, I'm sitting here and I'm a little bit uncomfortable, so I want to get over here. I want to just change something. And when you start noticing this, you'll see that you're doing it the whole time. It's as if though we're just programmed to not want to be here, not want to be right now. We want to be in the past or in the future or somewhere else physically. And if we want to be somewhere else in the physically, meaning in the space, the geometry, like if you want to be somewhere else there, we're actually looking towards the future, because I want this moment to pass so that I can get over there. It might be impossible for me to get over there, and then it's even more pulling I want to get over there. Allowing yourself to really be here contains within it this incredible peace and calmness, this stillness, which is why when people have what they call like insight or do things, and they actually drop into what I call a non-centric experience, or could be called a non-dual experience, many people describe it as it's so quiet, it's so calm, like everything just went quiet. What happened? It's like the whole world just stopped, and there's this feeling of like everything's been vibrating and shaking, and then it's just still. Like, what happened? Like, what changed? And we believe like, oh, I'm somewhere else or something changed on the outside. But actually what happened is that you stopped, not completely, but to a very large degree, you stopped emotionally judging the world around you. You stopped saying like, I am here and I'm going to have an emotional opinion about everything around me. This is nice. That's not nice. I like this. I don't like that. You're good. You're bad. You're rich. You're poor. You're one of me. One of us, and you're not one of us. This emotional judgment. So what's the solution? How do we deal with this distortion, as I call it? Well, the obvious solution to many people is to change your thoughts. We change how we think about things. So you often see spiritual people go in and they say like, oh, I have no preference, I don't care, like I'm neutral, I'm okay with everything, and they try to change their mind about how they see things. So they have their self-talk be something else, or the way some people they get really deep into the idea that, oh, I can't say me, or I can't see mine, and not because they actually can't feel a sense of identity, but because they believe that if they stop talking about those things, then somehow magically disappears, which is just complete utter BS. Like, it just doesn't work like that. That would be amazing. It would be so easy to do this stuff then. Unfortunately, it's much more. It's much simpler in one way, in its complexity, but it's incredibly more difficult to do practically. Because for you to actually give up that part, it's not that you change how you talk about yourself or about things around you. Like just saying like, stop saying me or mine. Like, that's not going to take away the feeling of this is me, this is mine. If anything, it's going to create a new identity. And this new identity is a spiritual identity. Not one of those like normal people. They're normies, like those people, not like that. No, this is a special identity. It's a spiritual identity. And spiritual people, like we're better than other people. We're different. We would never say we're better, but we feel we're better because we're doing the right thing. We're doing the righteous thing. We're actually on a different plane altogether. And you're talking to spirit guides, and you're talking to other dimensions and angels, like all kinds of stuff. Anything but actually experiencing here. Actually experiencing now. Instead, it's this fantasy of wanting to be something else, something bigger, something more important. But just being here and having it be enough with just being here. Really just here. That's the last thing the self wants to do. It needs to have this drama. It needs to have the quest for insight, the the searching out of the spiritual books or meeting the masters, having the guru, finding the secret meditation techniques that will change everything. That will make it so that you no longer have to suffer. But the truth is that what you really need to do is you need to learn how to not make yourself suffer. And you don't do that by changing your thoughts or changing your vocabulary. You do that by looking at how you're emotionally resisting the world around you. That is a much easier thing to do in many ways, but like I said, it's more difficult to practically do. Because the way that you do this is you become emotionally aware throughout the day. How am I distorting to the world around me right now? In other words, how am I feeling right now towards the things around me? And you see, okay, right now I'm in a good mood. I'm walking around and I'm enjoying myself. And then all of a sudden a car drives by and they're driving too fast. And you're, oh, son of a, I can't believe they're doing this. I hate people who do this. Like, people are so obnoxious. Like, can't they see I'm walking here and now they're walking so close to me? And you start emotionally judging that person. You start having a resistance towards that event. And now you're pushing towards something that happened in the past, and you're creating this emotional drama play in your mind. We often think that you disappear into your thoughts, but actually what you're doing is you're disappearing into an emotional fairy tale. Because if you think about it, when you think a thought, the thought does nothing. What you're really after with your thoughts is a feeling. You're trying to make yourself feel something because of your thoughts. Or you are making yourself feel something because you think about something that's bad. And when you really look at it, it's actually the other way around. You're making yourself think something because you're feeling something. So you have an uncomfortable feeling in your body. The thoughts, which is just another sense door. Just like if I do this, I get the sensation of someone touching me. When you have an uncomfortable distortion and an uncomfortable emotion in your body, the mind just answers the same way. Just like this was a touch, the mind will then answer with the thoughts of, oh, that's not fair, they shouldn't do this, it should be different, it should be like this, I like this, and the mind will just fill in the blank to justify that feeling, to justify why it's not okay to just be here, to justify why you need to be something else. And we keep blaming everyone else. It's not my fault. No, it's society, because they're putting all these demands on me. Oh, it's not my fault, it's the patriarchy. It's the matriarchy. Is there a thing, matriarchy? I don't know. But it's the women who don't accept me for who I am, who don't love me just for being me. Or it's the men who oppress me. Like, it doesn't matter. It's the same story. It's just directed towards other things. And I'm not saying that that is fair and that's how it should be. I'm not giving validity or justification to that kind of behavior. What I'm saying is that your reaction towards that kind of behavior, that is your doing. That has nothing to do with them. You're choosing to emotionally react towards that. Some things are easier to deal with than others. If we're talking about someone driving by you and they're far away, they're not actually even close to you, but they're driving too fast on a road over there, you can still emotionally judge that. But if we're talking about someone physically abusing you or mentally abusing someone you know, or yourself or a child, now that's much more difficult, but it's still the same thing. It's still the idea that you are the one who is emotionally making yourself feel bad. The other person acts like a complete idiot and they're acting in a way one shouldn't, but that doesn't change that it's your choice to choose how you act towards it. Like I said, some things are much easier than others, and some situations are just so tough that we just say it's impossible. Like, I can't feel good in this situation. And it's a practice thing. It's a way of changing your relationship to the world around you and also inside of you by constantly monitoring and being aware of, how am I feeling right now? What's happening right now? How am I reacting towards this right now? Am I putting an emotional layer on top of reality where I come in and I said, oh, this is what happened, now I'm going to feel bad. So I'm viewing reality through this filter of, oh, they're idiots, they're behaving like this, they shouldn't do this. And I'm judging everything emotionally, so I'm not actually seeing them for what they're doing. Because when you take away that emotional judgment towards what's happening, all of a sudden you might say, well, I actually understand why they're driving fast or why they did the thing they did, because from their perspective, I'm the one who's the idiot, because I'm walking in the middle of the road. What the heck am I doing? Why am I walking here? Or like, they might think that my behavior is dumb because the way that I talk, the way that I dress, it feels threatening to them. And maybe they feel threatened because the way you're behaving around them makes they feel like you're hitting on their husband or their wife. When you stop emotionally judging the situation and you just experience it for what it is, all of a sudden you become closer to other people, because now you're not putting that distance between them and you. Now there's not that feeling of, oh, I don't like them, so I'm not going to accept them for who they are. I'm going to view them through this filter and emotionally judge them, and then I'm going to interact with that. In many ways, you're not interacting with the world. You're interacting with the feelings about the world. Did I say that correct? Yeah. You're not interacting, you're not seeing the world, you're seeing your feelings about the world. Which is why when that filter in between drops away, then all of a sudden it's just so much more enjoyable to be alive. Because now there's no pressure. There is no need for the world to be different. It just is. It's just there. And things happen. And sometimes things happen fast. Sometimes they stand still. It doesn't matter. You're just experiencing it. You don't need to put that layer in between that says, like, that thing that happened, that's a good thing. Or that thing that didn't happen, that's a bad thing. I quite often talk about the example of if you would see the oldest, most beautiful tree on the planet, and we notice this tree, it's in the middle. Actually, I think one of the oldest trees is in New Zealand. I saw that when I was there. Huge tree. It was like 8 or 10 meters across. It's like insane, and not that high, not that tall. And they put a fence around it. They make sure that it can't like you can't walk around it, because then you kill the roots. And if that tree would burn down, we would go like, oh, that's so sad. Like, the tree burned down. That's a bad thing. It shouldn't have happened. Like, we've lost something beautiful, something magnificent. And then we feel bad about it. And we start going around and telling other people how we feel bad about it. And we try to do something about it. But if you take away that feeling bad, it's just a tree burned down. It just happened. Like, in 1,000 years or 2,000 or 3,000 years, it would be gone anyway. It's just that now we had reality happen, and we put the filter of humans coming in and emotionally judging, saying like, no, this is not the way reality should have happened, so I'm going to feel bad about it. That's not to say we should go and burn up all the trees. We shouldn't care about the planet. What I'm saying is we should not walk around and feel bad about what's happening. Instead, we should go around, see what's happening, and then do what we want to, what we need to do to make the world into the place we want it. And at the same time, as I say that, I also have to add, we act with benignity, meaning we try to act as benign as we can, because the feeling of being right, like if there's someone you really don't like and something bad happens to them, you will feel justified in thinking like, yeah, they got what they deserved. I'm so happy that happened to them. You are in a good mood, you're enjoying being here, but you're doing it through the perspective, I'm here and they're wrong. That's why I feel good. That's not... Okay. I'm not sure if you... Yep, I think I'm back. I'm not sure if I disappeared there or what happened. That is very strange. I did actually change the connector on my streaming card. I wonder if that's what's happening, or maybe it maybe I didn't disappear and it was just on my end. I don't know. I see there's a few people watching. If you see anything, tell me what you saw. But it's highly confusing to me, at least. We were talking about how we don't experience reality. We experience reality through the filter of our emotions. So we're not actually interacting with the world as it is. We're interacting with our emotions about the world, our feelings about the world, our emotional judgment to the world. So we're not letting the world just be the way it is. Instead, we're asking the world, be something else, be different. Don't be this version. Be something that's more enjoyable for me, that is in alignment with what I want. It's just a matter of shifting your perspective. Actually, it's more than just shifting your perspective. It's a matter of focusing on something else. Instead of trying to change the world, focus on how are you relating to the world. Instead of believing that you need the world to be different for you to feel good, realize that you can just choose to feel good. It's not that you need to have something specific happen in the world around you to enjoy being here. Don't make it don't take it to the extreme, but just in general, it is difficult to just feel good, because the ego, the sense of identity, needs the world to be different. Because if it's not, if it doesn't have that drama where it feels like change so that I can feel good, if that doesn't happen, then it can't survive. The self thrives on drama, on conflict, of resistance, of polarity, good, bad, mine, yours, like all these things that need to happen for the sense of identity to continue surviving. Because if it doesn't, then it just can't survive. I am very confused by the stream right now, because I'm seeing what's on the stream now, and that is something that I was talking about like 10 minutes ago. So I am I simply don't know. I am very confused by all of this. We'll see what happens. I'm not even sure if I'm streaming anymore. It could be that I'm not. If that's so, then at least I'm talking to myself, and that's always a good thing. Like I said, I did quite a bit of changes. I've been changing the Wi-Fi in here, making everything work, and I've also changed the cables for my camera. So maybe that's something that's messing up as well. I think we'll just start sitting. I'm getting a bit tired as well, so it'd be nice to do it early. And I'm not even sure, like what I'm seeing is like 10 minutes old, so maybe I'm not even streaming. Maybe it's just me sitting here talking to myself. I mean, we all talk to ourselves, so it's like not like that's anything special. Okay, so today's Thursday. So we have no guided meditation today, but we do breathing meditation. And to start, we'll do what's called the box breathing, which is you breathe in for 4, you hold your breath for 4, you breathe out for 4, you hold your breath for 4, and we do this in a square. It's also called tactical breathing, because we do this as a way of calming down our nervous system. It's used by military, police officers, or first responders as a way to calm themselves down in very stressful situations. And it's a very nice technique to do in the beginning of the meditation, because when you do this, it helps you to really settle down and become calm. And being calm is not the purpose of the meditation, but it's a good place from which to start observing what emotional state you're in. So when you're calmer, there's less stuff to deal with, and that makes it easier to sit down. So what I'll do is I'll start the meditation, and I'll walk you through a few cycles of doing box breathing or tactical breathing, and after that's done, then just keep on sitting for yourself. It'll be like a 20-minute meditation. Okay, so first we breathe in for 2, 3, 4, then hold 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4, and in 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4, and in 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4, and out 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4. Now keep breathing for yourself like this, and you can slow it down or speed it up, whatever feels comfortable to you. And I'll ring the bell again after 20 minutes. that was a confusing stream. I apologize if I'm not even sure if I'm streaming anymore. I'm not sure what's happening, but I hope someone got to see this. I'll try to sort it out till next time. I could see the stream going down the whole time through the sitting. I'm not sure what that's about, but I'll do some tests and hopefully get it up and running for later. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all back on Monday again. Thank you. Good night.